Hello everyone and welcome back to Monsters of the Mind. As always, I'm your host, Mr.G. So I got the thing from my neighbor, but still don't know what it is, so yeah, I don't know what to do with it. I have it in the living room right now, but yeah, I don't even know what it does. He never explained it in his will or anything like that, and it doesn't have any instruction manual or anything, so who knows. Anyways, let's just get into today's video. In the world of giant movie monsters, the top dog is Godzilla and his gaggle of friends and foes like Mrs. Butterfly or Three-Headed Fred or Robozilla. I'm intentionally getting the names wrong so I can annoy just to see how people would react. Is it working? Yeah, whatever. Following up from them, we got King Kong, the giant monkey. But in third place, we find Gamera. Not nearly as well known or even respected considering how many of his movies have pretty bad reviews, but he's still quite well loved in the world of movie monsters. And of all the Godzilla-inspired monster movies that came out after the big guy's success, Gamera's the only one that people really care about nowadays. So, without further ado, let's talk about the history of Gamera, the giant turtle. Gamera is a giant turtle-like monster. His powers include flight, which he can do by tucking in his limbs and then releasing flames like a jetpack. He can breathe fire, and is in turn immune to getting burned. Personality-wise, Gamera is one of the friendlier giant monsters you can come across. He mostly plays heroic roles, protecting humans from other truly bad monsters. He's very friendly to children, and hurting them is a good way to tick him off. He's also intelligent, as if he's beaten in a fight, then he strategizes against how to defeat the monster when he fights them again, in which he pretty much always wins the second time around. So yeah, he's a learner fighter. I like that. Gamera's first appearance was in the 1965 film Gamera the Giant Monster, and by watching it, it's pretty clear what film they are inspired by. After all, Missile Strike awakens an ancient monster that attacks Japan? Yeah, that sounds familiar. Unlike his later, more benevolent depictions, Gamera is the bad guy in this film, although seeds are planted for his later depictions, as at one point Gamera ends up saving a child, which inspired the filmmakers to expand on this in later films. Anyway, in this film he causes a ruckus before he gets launched by a rocket off to Mars. The film did not get the best of receptions when it came out, with many thinking the film was a blatant copy of Godzilla that didn't really have anything that made it stand out. Later on, this film got an edited release in the US, which ended up becoming the only original Gamera film released there. Despite the reviews, the film was a financial success, so it got a sequel the next year, Gamera vs. Barugon. Oh, real subtle. What next? Is he gonna fight Mofru or Ghidorah? Anyway, in this film, the rocket sending Gamera to Mars gets knocked off course, allowing him to return back to Earth for revenge. At the same time, however, a mysterious egg is hatched, which contains the titular Barugon. The two monsters engage in combat where Gamera gets frozen solid, allowing the new monster to go on a rampage. However, Gamera eventually thaws out and ends up drowning him, before flying off. Over the next 5 years, we got one of these films yearly, and they all roughly follow the same formula. Gamera's a good guy now, fights evil monsters, defeats them after initially getting beaten, and then flies off. So not much to say here. Series went on a 9-year hiatus after this before returning with the grand finale, Gamera, Super Monster! In this film, an alien is teamed up with every monster Gamera has previously fought, so he has to defeat them all over again. This film, it may sound exciting in concept, but the film mostly consists of stock footage, so don't get too excited. It eventually ends with Gamera sacrificing himself to defeat the alien, thus ending the series once and for all. At least until 1995, when we got the reboot, Gamera, Guardian of the Universe. In this film, Gamera and a previous monster now rebooted, Gyaos, are released, and at first people think Gamera is just as bad as the flying monsters, but as it turns out he's actually fighting against the other monsters, so now the government has to be convinced he's a good guy before they kill him and the Gyaos win. The film kick-started a new trilogy of films that came out during the rest of the 90s, with the final film again ending with Gamera's death. In 2006 we got another reboot, Gamera the Brave. In this film, the original Gamera dies. But this is not the same Gamera as the other two series. This one died fighting a flock of Gyaos. Anyway, in the modern day, an egg is found containing another member of Gamera's species, who now has to fight a monster known as Zedus, who looks like a theropod covered in needles. He beats him and then flies off as usual for these films. This film got pretty good reviews, but it became the lowest grossing film of the franchise. Because of its failure, Gamera went on another hiatus, the only notable media being released being the 2015 short film. However, in 2023, Gamera made his big return as an anime. That's still going on at the time of writing. As a monster, Gamera never had the same reputation as the two big boys, but he has his own charm. The films take themselves far less seriously than Godzilla and Kong films, and are really just goofy fun for the most part. I mean, there is literally a scene where Gamera plays his theme using his enemy's bones as a xylophone. So it's clear that these are not supposed to be taken seriously. Despite hardly ever leaving Japan, the Gamera films are cult classics and are enjoyed by most kaiju fans. And while not referenced as much as the big guy in media, Gamera's received his own fair share of homages over the years. Oh, but speaking of the big guy, that's one thing we need to talk about. A lot of more casual kaiju fans seem to think that Gamera is a Godzilla character, when he's not. He's owned by his own studio. And, as the second most famous giant reptilian movie monster, people have been clamoring for years to see them fight. And the thing is, there have been multiple attempts at that, multiple films have been pitched, but they've all been cancelled. So, if these two will ever fight in an official movie, that's up for debate. But there was a stage show in Japan that had them pitted against each other, but unfortunately it's lost media and we don't even know who won in there. So, lovely. I'd like to see this film as much as the next guy, but considering that every time they pitch it, it gets scrapped, I don't like the odds of it truly happening. Well, that's Gamera for you, everybody. I'll see you guys next time when... Hey, Mr.G, you done with your video? Yeah, just about. Why? No reason, it's just, you remember the thing your, neighbor gave us? Yeah. Well, we found out what it does. Oh, that's great. What does it do? Oh, it makes characters on screen and it takes them into the real world. How did you figure that out? I can explain. I had just kicked Eric's butt at the fighting game like usual. You guys are still playing that? Shut up, it's a good game. Anyway, Eric got so mad he got up and then kicked the machine. It activated it, then a beam was shot at the TV and... let me guess. You brought the cast from a game into real life. Yeah, that's basically the long and short of it. Mr. G? Mr. G? You know what? You two got yourself into this mess. You two are cleaning it up. I'm not helping you with this. I'm staying out of this. This had nothing to do with me. You guys... Nope, staying out of this. You two just do this or something. You round them up, send them back to the game or something. I just cannot believe this. I can't believe this. You made video game characters real. Goodbye. You. Stupid. Well, Catherine, looks like we're on a roundup mission. Yeah, that sounds lovely. But unfortunately, I think all the characters were released, so we got some work ahead of us. Agreed. Shall we roll? Let's roll.